Oh no! I forgot to mute the auxiliary. Thank you, thank you. It's I've worked long and hard on the keyboard clicking. I'm just spreading the word of Final Fantasy XIV. Uh, Keyboard hype. Yes, evil click lacking. Don't mind me. Alright, I suppose I can show my beautiful face. There we are. So, yeah, just looking to get some more viewers before I get started, but looks like people are jumping in. So, I suppose now would be a good time to recap. Last time we started off our adventure. We have just we're fresh off the boat in Limsa, which is one of the 3 city-states of Eorzea, and we had a bit of a fever dream. A large crystal told us to hear, feel, think, because there's a lot of aether in this region, which can be a bit unsettling if you're not used to it. But we've attuned to the crystal after being attacked by pirates off the coast. Settling in nicely. Talked to Beleren to join the Adventurers Guild, and we've gotten our first mission, which is to help the reformed pirates in their work with raising orchards. So, off to a good start. And we met a fellow Makot, that's people with cat ears in this world. We met a fellow Makot named Y'shtola, and she's a bit of an odd one, as said by what's his name, Stalewern, who's the pirate captain who's giving us our missions. Y'shtola has been surveying the area, and she helped us take out a ferocious beast that was set upon the locals, probably rather intentionally, because it had a dagger shoved in its back, which very mean. Unfortunately, we did take the beast out, so fortunately, no longer bothering the locals. Unfortunately, we could not stay its hand outside of violence. But yeah, I suppose it is time to get going. So we will sign in now. How's everyone doing tonight? Nice start of the weekend, I hope. For me, my weekend is only just beginning. I work weekends, so. I have to say, I love the dancing dinosaur. Is that one of the generic emotes on Twitch, or did you get that from somewhere, Soren? It's very cute. Alright, and then the only thing I've done on this account is I did go in quick before we started second session and set up just a little bit more key binding. You will want to have at least 2 hotkeys ready. I like to have 3 hotbars, but I just made sure that they were all ready. So I have the generic number keys, and then default is control, but I switched alt and control. So you probably have control 6 is your hotbar 6 slot for 2, and then alt and control for those for 2 and 3. I like to set things that are not necessarily super frequently used, especially not in combat, to 3, so like my teleport button and return. And things that I rely on very heavily, like my default damage move on the first hotbar. Default dino. Very good. Asexual pride, let's go! Let's go! Woohoo! All right. Let us talk to Staleward and see what he has to say. Ah! They just dropped out of the high heavens. Hello. Hello, sir. All right. That sea sloth 7 is in his lot. Never around when there's work to be done. I'd sooner hire you for the sake of getting things done, but then the rapscallions would never learn. Round them up and let them know that Staleward would like a word. And don't take no for an answer. Alright. So, if you... I think I covered it last time, but I'll be mentioning helpful tips every time. If you see that arrow down, that means that they're on a lower level. So, and we're going to talk to all Chocobo Keeps. If you're ever really low on gil, but you need to get to a town, you can hire this, and it's only 15 gil to get to Limsa, whereas like teleporting is 145, right? So it's a good option to have in your back pocket. We're going to look around the corner. Nope. Anywhere in this orange circle, there should be someone. And I'm going to go up top just so I can peek over the corner, too. Even though we know they're on the lower level. You can't take lethal damage by jumping off so long as you're not in combat, so feel free to jump to your heart's content. Looks like they're outside the confines of this little area, so we're gonna go back to the front. True. Thank you, Amber. If your home is set as Limsa, which if you start in Limsa, it would be by default, you can return. But return has a really long cooldown of 900 seconds. And if you are in the area, that's kind of like what it would roughly cost if Limsa was not your home. If you started in one of the other city-states. Let's go get the furthest circles and work our way back. And Limsa, according to some, Limsa's the best city. I think it's Ul'dah, actually. But I do understand Limsa, the love for Limsa. I am Severn. You the old man's air boy now. Tell my dear old captain not to wet his britches. I'll be along. Oh, and just so we're clear, I don't care for landlubbers. Go find the chocobo you rode in on and ride on out. Landlubber? I resemble that remark. Alright. Severn, let's see. Well, we're gonna cross the bridge. Not jump foolishly into the river and have a hard time getting back out. I think between my roommates, all 3 city-states are accounted for favorites. Alright, so Staleward sent you. And what do you reckon I say to that? Jace Beleren might be memed on for avoiding work, but let's be real. If we could be solving, world peace instead of doing bureaucracy, we all would. Damn right. Didn't get where I am by taking gruff from any glorified gardeners. But suppose I could see to what he wants and get him off my back. Axes were made for splitting skulls, not stumps. You know what I did in my sailing days? You bet your beard I did, lad. Aye, those were the days. I reckon now I'll never be satisfied taking my axes to the trees. A little wanton murder never hurt anyone. So because I'm over 5 levels above the local fauna in the starting areas, I shouldn't worry. And then if you're over 10 levels above any mobs, they shouldn't bother you. As a little thing. I don't remember if the starting ones ever bother you. They probably don't. But even out in the world, if you're 10 over, they shouldn't bother you. Ugh, how am I supposed to work on an empty stomach? Go on, have a guess at what I had for breakfast. Breaded sticks. Ah! Gods, how'd you know? It's my breath, ain't it? It probably smells as wooden as the food tasted. But I know why you're here. I'd just as soon get some real food in me, but I ain't got one. I ain't one to reject a summons from the captain. Alright, did I miss them? Are they, like, hugging the walls? No. Oh, yeah, there they are. Work? Ha! Can't work with me hands full lifting this mug. You know, wager me last skill, you'd never guess what I'm drinking. Well, you're right about the swell part. I reckon it might be worth a day of doing Stilwern's chores if it'll afford me a taste of proper grog. You continue to impress, lad. All but 7 are accounted for. It's no fault of yours he squirmed out. I have let that worm wriggle through my fingers more times than I can count. But rest assured, the next time I see him, I'll put him squarely in the dirt where such worms belong. Sheesh. Pains me to say, but all the gil in the world can't buy loyalty. There's some like you who can be trusted, but then there are others. Till now, I've had no choice to rely on the charlatan Severin, even though I'm full aware he's been doing shady deals behind my back. More than once, I've heard tell of improper trading with goblins. I would be the least surprised if it were happening right now. Belgo, a sack of oranges vanished, as did Severin. I want you to find it and confront the bastard for me, Beleren. I'm sure there's wrongdoing afoot, so be sure to doubt anything that comes out of his mouth. Anytime it's an orange like that, that means they want you to use the command, which is just a text box-based thing. So if you press /, it will automatically go into your text box. Otherwise, you can also press enter if you wanted to say hello. But / doubt. Well, I pressed A by accident. So / doubt will make you do the emote. You can also do fun things like dance. That's the male Makote dance. Having so much fun. Oh lord, he running. So I walked near Fate, so it will just automatically put me in it. And if I just keep walking, I'll just automatically leave. No harm, no foul. Fates can be a good way to earn some experience if you're like really close, but outside of needing it for a quest or needing company seals, it's not the most efficient way to get experience and things. Honestly, you're probably just better off doing like MSQ, and once you get a little further along, you can you'll have Duty Finder unlocked, and you can do roulettes every day. Alright, so to doubt him specifically, if you just do it next to him, it won't do anything for the quest. You have to select him, so just left-click him on mouse and keyboard. I'm not quite sure what it is PS4, but your generic select something probably. And then we're gonna doubt. What's this now? Selwyn sent you for the oranges? Huh. So the old bugger had known all this time. What does it matter anyway? Listen, you're one of those goody-goody adventure types, right? Go rescue me mates from the double-dealing goblins. They're just over yonder by the bonfire. He does not seem super concerned. But we will go rescue because we are a goody-goody adventurer. If you step into the glowy mess, it will start the encounter. Alright. So we're just gonna aid all these poor folks that were set upon by goblins. Severin sent you? Huh. The way he flew out of here, I was sure he sold us down the river. If you hadn't come, my dodo would have been cooked. Cooked dodo. I owe you one. Wouldn't have gone away myself if it were not for Severin shoving me aside. Aw, so he's a jerk with a heart of gold. Saved me mates, and for that I owe you. Suppose I should be ashamed I couldn't clean up my own mess. But a pirate knows no shame. I've no qualms about going back on me word. I'm only giving you this sack because I like the cut of your jib. Take it to Austin and send him my regards. Anytime it's sparkly like that, you can right-click to interact. So we picked it up. It won't clog your inventory. If you ever want to check if you have items for quests, it'll be in your key items. But you don't need to go into that. You don't need to go into that very often. It's not like you're gonna really fill up, so long as you're turning things in. What do we have here? A delivery from Summerford Farms, as scheduled. Huh, there's a first time for everything. And you can right-click to bring it up and easily find something if your inventory is a bit, full. Oh, look at that. Not a single one missing neither. How about the only things not here are those bagmen? I don't miss them one bit. He still earns permanent full. With you, I can trust it'll reach him. Sheesh. Not a whole lot of trust in these parts, huh? Gotta run back. We could bring up teleport and, like, get right back because there's that aetherite. And it's not even super expensive. It's only 50 gil. But, we're also not super, affluent yet. We need a few MSQ under, missions under our belt before we have money to just spend on free teleporting. It becomes a non-issue pretty quickly. Especially if you save up just for a few. What do we think of my outfit? Got that great style. He would like the blue jacket at least. When we reach level 15 MSQ, we'll definitely be hitting up the person who teaches us how to use glamour plates. You'll see the option for it right. Oh, you don't actually see the option until you unlock it, but it'll be right around here, and that way you can make yourself look a little less ridiculous even at low levels, no matter what you're forced to wear. Back in one piece. That's a relief. How'd you fare, Beleren? Ah, this is what I was aiming for. Looks to be all I was owed, alright. Though, I'd be telling you false if I claimed I had not held out more hope for Severn. I was even willing to overlook the skimming off the top, but to sell us short in favor of those god's-forsaken goblins. Ugh. You do well to mind yourself around that 2-gil cheat. If he'd leave his own mates for dead, there's no telling what he'd do to you. Alright, let's see. Oh, hem and cowl. That's a pretty big, thing. It will probably deny us being able to wear our fun little witch's hat. But, alright. And we've learned Resurrection. That's one of those spells that's going to go on my 3rd hotbar. Hopefully. I'm not using it very often. Hopefully. It put it into our inventory because we have that, that one setting unchecked, which I swear by. Making sure it doesn't go into your armor chest, because armor chests get full very quickly. Just gonna double check. Yeah, this is what we want. We're going to update gear set. That way, anytime we put Arcanist back on, we don't end up naked. And then, because we don't know what to do next, I'm just gonna press low maintenance, and it tells me my next MSQ is actually right behind me. Blast! At this rate, the crops will never be ready for harvest. If only we had backloam. Just a bit could send our stocks soaring. I'll bet Rotwida knows where you might find some. Perhaps you might pay her a visit in the orchard. Sure thing. That Gurkant's got a head of cabbage if he thinks I'm fetching him any backloam. But if you dare pinch some from the cook pot, then be my guest. Just mind you don't get trampled upon by the Aurochs that dwell there. Once used 3 bushels worth, take the backloam to... Frewall at Tiller's Rest. He'll know what to do. Alright. It's gonna be easiest if we cross that bridge. Don't worry, Jace. Soon we'll be able to make you look the part. Luckily, being an Arcanist, we'll get appropriate clothes pretty quickly for him. Although I should start thinking about a second class. Because we get so much experience from MSQ on the server, we can... Oh, I'm going the wrong way. We can actually level up 2 classes very easily. So, as I unlock the others, especially as I get to the other city-states, I should consider a second class to learn. They hate me for my Transmask swag. I'm just gonna hug the walls and see if I can get away without having to kill them all. It's not the biggest issue if I have to. Just inconvenient. My friends like to make fun of me a little bit because I tend to draw aggro of everything just running through and just leave it for someone else to deal with. Yeah, I'm just gonna run away. I don't need to bother with that. We'll get better fights in like dungeons and stuff anyways. Wait, why am I crossing this bridge? I need to go back across in a second anyways. I don't know. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Soon. We're like halfway through the through the point of the MSQ where we can get a chocobo. Any percent chocobo speedrun. That's what I'm playing in any game. I love chocobos so much. They're so cute. I love them so much. I have to think of what I'm gonna name my chocobo. Feel free to drop suggestions. Even the weeds wither and die in this desolate dirt. Well, that doesn't seem helpful. Hopefully the soil can help. But a bit of this backloam ought to change all that. I haven't seen any in ages. Gathering backloam's not for the weak of will, nor the weak of stomach, eh? Oh, don't tell me Gurkant and Rotwidow neglected to mention where backloam comes from. Well, surely you figured out on your own from the cloying stench. It's from the Oryx lair, of all places. Ahem, well, why dwell on who misled whom about what? What matters is that your efforts have put us in the backloam and we can expect a bountiful harvest as a result. Thank you. Alright, we're gonna pick up this nice copper wristlet. Because I'm a caster, I'm gonna go for intelligence and mind. Dexterity and strength would be better if I was a physical class. Update that gear set. Confounded pirates. They know nothing of tillin', only killin'. Stealing our shovels to melt and forge into axes of all things. They're biting the hand that feeds them, the mangy mongrels. I'd love to teach those curs a lesson in obedience myself if I hadn't sworn to Stalewern that I wouldn't fight no more. So I need you to bring back our farm tools, and make sure those dogs reap what they've sown. Sheesh. I get the feeling this guy doesn't like them very much. Alright, that quest marker overhead means we should kill them. And I'm gonna try and drag them off one by one so I don't have to deal with a whole bunch of them when I have to stand still to cast my spells. they're not the brightest raiders, so luckily standing still does in fact work to not make the others mad at you. So long as I don't get too close, they won't all swarm me. But as you go up higher level mobs, attacking one will draw others' attention. That's on our hunting log, so we're just gonna. That's what those two little swoops mean. So we're just gonna kill it for the experience. Oh, got too close. Running. I wanted to kill the pirate, not the raider. Oh, I got my wish. Now he's killing me. Alright, finish that hunting log. Cool. I wonder what those sea dogs will try and steal when there's no harvest. Ah, good to see the tools back and in serviceable condition. Which will be more than we can say of Severn when we get our hands on him. The wretch likely had a role in the theft. Spied him meeting the pirates in secret, I did. Couldn't care less if the wastrel won't work, but when it comes to consorts with cup purses, that takes our tools away. He's crossed the line. Still, we ought to know what sort of scalawag he's dealing with. Take word to him, would you? Sure thing. I love just looking up and seeing people with crazy mounts. I have no context for it. That exists in this world. Good to know. It'll be a while before we unlock the ability to fly, but I look forward to it. Once you beat enough of the conditions for an area, you'll be able to fly. For this one, you just have to beat the first big bad, which is, you know, a good number of levels of MSQ off. We have to beat a Realm Reborn. Pirates making off with our tools. Farwell did well not to take matters into his own hands. Last thing I need is blood on my crops. But I'll be damned if Severn thinks he can take us for fools. His treachery won't go unpunished. Alright, in green means it's something we can use, and that +2 is something I want. Cool. Lucid Dreaming, that is a great spell. This spell says, get your mana back, which, when you're casting really heavily in a dungeon, you probably will need. I've come to expect a great deal from you, lad, and you've never once let me down. Yet what I'd ask of you now goes beyond aught I've asked before. Would you hear my plea all the same? It eases my mind to have your ear. You're no doubt familiar with that scoundrel Severn by now. Well, the scheming scapegrace is at it again. Since that letter came for him, he's been skulking about in the manner he does when he's up to no good. Now he's rounded up his rogues and buggered off, with nary a word to anyone. I've grown accustomed to his insolence, but something tells me this is different. It ain't exactly damning, but when last I had words with him, he didn't look defiant so much as hunted. I can't help thinking he's gone looking for trouble and found more than he wanted. So I was hoping you might hunt his sorry hide and drag it back here before it's too late. That ungrateful little cur bites me every chance he gets, but I can't quite bring myself to cut him loose. I suppose he reminds me a bit of my younger self. Suffice it to say, I'd rather he didn't come to a sticky end. As for how to find him, I'd try asking, Gerwida at the Aetheryte. She was last one to see him. I dare say she'll be able to tell you where he was headed. Nothing that passes through these gates escapes my notice. I saw the Rouser and his rabble set out for Whisper Canyon not long ago, singing about drinking themselves stupider. Cheeky sods said I should join them. I told them I'd rather shrivel up than sip whatever it is that had pickled their brains. If you find the idle swine, be sure to give him a cuff around the ear for me, will you? That takes me back to college, just seeing rows of people who are... You're just like, I'm glad you found joy, but Hodang, you are, loud about it, aren't you? I love their character design, so cute. If you ever want to see someone in more detail, you can right-click on them and press examine. Hell yeah. The descent? Don't mind if I do. Whee! Ugh. Of all the dirty, deceitful, downright dastardly deeds that slippery bastard's done. Claiming to take the lads out for a drink only to lead us straight into a bloody trap. I don't get no lower than that. Of course, I've learned to stay a step ahead of old Severin, so I was ready. But the others weren't so lucky. You've got to help them. Of course. Happy to help. My axe may as well have been a white flag for all the good it did. Hope you fare better. The sorry bastards in there are done for. Alright. Time to partake in the glowy MSQ quest. Seven might have got us into this mess, but I ain't about to let him give his life for us. That's in a bow to a fishback than be a conniving bastard's debt. To arms! A true knave. You betray even yourself, Severin. Ugh. We were prepared to overlook the matter of your desertion on the condition that you provided us with suitable replacements. That was the agreement. Yet your last change of heart leaves your debt to us unpaid. Few are they who betray the Serpent Reavers twice. You will not do so a third time. So true, Toucan. Thank you for joining us. Jace Beleren. Cowering behind your protector will only delay the inevitable. Honorous wretch, your life is all you have left. And worthless though it may be, we shall take it. I'm sure that hooded figure in the distance is only wishing us well. O mournful voice of creation, Grant ye this humble stone a soul, that it may wake to life. Alright, it's time to duel. And you'll notice I am running at the very, very end of my cast. You can get away with that. Just trying to mitigate damage. Not doing a very good job of it, but a little bit. Remember, don't stand in the bad. I forgot to use my charges. I'm just, when I have my energy drain, it will fill the charges there. I have a little bit of time to get out of that. And if I have charges up, I can use Fester. Easy. That the golem could be vanquished. That man is no ordinary adventurer. The snake slithered away. I'm only glad that he did not have the chance to sink his fangs more deeply into you. That bright white screen almost gave me the headache. Those pirates do not belong to any known Luminson factions. Whom then do they serve? The Beast Tribes? Surely not. But the timing of their appearance coincides all too neatly with the recent surge in Sahagin and Kobold activity. Something is afoot. The question is what? Could it be that the tribes are planning to summon their primals? 12 help us if it should prove so. Limsa would be hard-pressed to keep a single primal at bay, let alone 2. But all is yet speculation. I must needs find evidence. The seas continue to rise, while the lesser moon continues to fall. And ilm by ilm, the world becomes ever more unlike itself. It is as Louisoix foretold. The coming of chaos has rendered the laws of nature mutable, blurring the boundary between material and ethereal planes. Little now stands between us and the primals. But they are not here yet. Though time be against us, hope shall ever be on our side. Never did the creed of Charlian ring more true. Never did I dream that I would possess the means to see Aether. Yet now that I do begin to take it for granted. How swiftly do the wonders of Charlian seem commonplace. Here, for you. Have you come from the festivities? Today the Maelstrom officially makes the Great Hole in the Sea its training ground. Join in the celebrations. Wait, a disturbance in the etheric flow. But whence does it emanate? Seasong Grotto, perhaps? I will give it to Limsa that they have a Y'shtola around. I mean, that's a pretty big plus in their favor. What have we here? Can you walk? 'Tis I. Regrettably, no. He eluded me. Understood. I will inform the Commodore. You collapsed from your exertions. Are you suitably recovered? Severin here has appraised me of all that transpired. His account sheds some light upon how you came to be attacked by a golem of all things. A golem is a mindless automaton, inert save when commanded to be otherwise. Common pirates could not hope to control such a thing, so arcane are its workings. But then these tattooed wretches are no common pirates. They are the minions of the Sahagin. As to their purpose, well, I shall get to the bottom of it. But first I must escort Severin back to his place of employment. I dare say Stalewin will be wondering what has become of him. And you too, for that matter. I will bear word to him of your preservation, but I am certain he would like to thank you in person. Pray pay the man a visit. Ah, he told me of you, but perchance he didn't tell me, you of me. My name is Y'shtola. I'm a naturalist of sorts, surveying the ether in hope that it might offer us some clues as to our predicament. I'd say I'd owed you my life, but that don't cover it. If it weren't for you, my friends would be dead and all. 'Tis a debt I can never repay, but I'll not make things worse by running away. Take me to Summerford Farms, and I'll face the consequences. For reasons I cannot fathom, you seem... Forgive me. Mayhap we shall have a chance to speak when we have marshaled my thoughts. Until our paths next cross. Farewell. Oh, Y'shtola. Such a pretty kitty. Raven Sin. Very good name. Alright. We're starting to rack up some money. Ah, it's 50 gil. I'm just gonna take the teleport. I'll kill some small mobs if I have to later. Wait, nope. I jumped too far. Didn't I? Or is he inside? Nope, I jumped too far. Back up the hill we go. I should have just walked forward. It's okay. Lo, I knew you'd return. Y'shtola delivered Severin a bit ago. Tales your heroic deeds precede you. The rest came shuffling back, too. The lot of them sporting the same haunted expression. It's me to blame for that. That ain't the rest. I was once a serpent reaver. A thrall to the Sahagin. 7 hells. Reavers may look and sound and act like pirates, but they're not but the fishbacks flunkies. Us pirates ain't much for laws, but there's things we won't do. We've got a code, see, but the Reavers never followed a word of it. A few years back, they started snatching law-abiding Laminsons. I'd only just taken my oath when our captain bent the knee to his new Sahagin masters. I knew I had to get away. So I crept off one night, got myself a new name, and found myself a new home. Summerford Farms. Trouble is, secrets don't stay secret for long round here, and word soon spread, all the way back to the sea. The penalty for desertion is death, but the Reavers offered me a way out instead. My freedom in exchange for my mates. The letter. I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't bloody thinking. Too busy soiling myself. Aye, but you got there in the end, don't you? When the time came, you made the right decision. The men say little to me, but I hear them talk of how you stood up to the Reavers at the last. Of how you tried to give your life to save theirs. Be that as it may, no deed, however good, can atone for the crime of betraying your brethren. I know that, I do. That's why I'm gonna hand myself over to the Yellow Jackets. I'll bring shame to the farm no more. You'll hear no arguments from me. Each man must sail according to his own moral compass. I just hope yours guides you back here someday. There will always be a place for you at Summerford Farms, lad. And I'll always be in your debt, Stalewern. I owe you a debt too, Jace. Not once have you let me down. Thank you for saving the men on my farm. If I could ask one more favor you, it'd be this. Tell Beleren what's happened from start to finish. I'm certain he'll put a good word for Severin if he knew the whole story. And he's one of the few people I know who the Yellow Jackets will listen to. Well, I reckon I've asked all I possibly can of you. Safe travel, son. Alright. Oh wait, I can return. That's right. I'm not used to Limsa being my hometown. My main account is Vincent Valentine. He started as an archer, so he returns to Gridania. Alright, we're gonna run over here and take the lift down to, or up to the upper decks. Yeah, we're on the lower decks right now. Bloody ells. Life on the farm ain't quite how I pictured it. But you don't need to worry yourself over young Severin. The Yellow Jackets and hands out the punishments is a good mate of mine. If I ask him nice, I reckon he'd be willing to commute the lad's sentence from England to New Holland. Kindly gent that he is. I'm only jesting with you. I'll see he's treated fair. Now it sounds to me like you've done everything old Stalewern asked of you, and more. Justifying me generous finder's fee in the process. Much obliged, lad. As for your reward, well, she's a lonely lady, this drowning wench of mine. I'd you fancy keeping her company for a spell with free room and board. Venturing's a tiring business, after all. Them as don't rest their bones every now and then tend to end up with broken ones. And take it from me. Fighting ain't nearly so much fun when you're nursing a shattered arm. Got that? Good. There'll always be a free bed for you, so make sure to use it. Not that you'll have much time for lying around. What with all the leaves you'll be doing. Oh, didn't I mention? I'm putting your name down for leaves. Our guild draws all manners of clients, offering all manner odd jobs. Honestly, you'd be amazed how much folk will play to avoid doing an honest day's labor. Just give Tomokri a shout whenever you feel like making a few extra gil. She'll always have a task or other for you to do. Guild leaves are an option. They're not really worth your time. I wouldn't bother with them. Oh, and it's all above board, in case you're wondering. We're careful to stay on the Admiral's right side in here. Unlike some pirates I could mention. I tell you, if it turns out they had aught to do with them kidnappings, there'll be 7 hells for to pay. Proper bleeding, a reckoning. Mayhap that's what Limsa needs, though. On rough seas, sometimes you have to rock the boat to right it. Well, we'll have time for such talk when you're well rested. Till then, enjoy the wench's hospitality. How do you fare, Jace? Rested and ready for your to expand your horizons? Well, then I have an idea where you might try adding next. Have you heard of the skylift out in Middle Eorzea? If you've ever visited Woad Whisper Canyon, then you must have been up and down the thing at least once. It's that big bleeding scaffolding attached to the descent. You've likely seen the lads and lasses out there using it to haul cargo up the cliff face. Hard labor that, and I hear they could use the Enterprise and Soul to pick up the odd jobs what no other bugger has time to deal with. Track down the Edda operation, bloke by the name of Wickrit, and he'll be sure to put you to work on a task or two. Odd jobs. The way of a brand new venturer such as ourselves. Actually, that's not that far either way, so we're just going to take the lift and walk it. It's about a horse apiece. From this aetheryte to the next. Alright. Right, horse apiece is a Wisconsin thing. That saying just means it's about the same either way. I always forget that. I use it so naturally, and then I live in Chicago now, so like, nobody knows what I'm talking about. End of a fate, everyone just goes flying off on their mounts. We'll get there someday soon. I love the architecture of Limsa. It's just so fun. These like castle spires attached to very little off in the distance. And we're almost there. Get ready for a big jump. I feel like I should probably warn people in case anyone has fear of heights or motion sickness. So I'm gonna get in the habit of saying something. Beleren sent you out here, did he? Then consider yourself welcome at Skylift. Look at that bloody cliff, will you? One blast of fiery hell from the huge dragon was all it took to split the ground in half. Cargo still needs to get through, though. So this mess of wood and pulleys was our solution to the problem. Well, one of them at least. If the gods were kind, and they ain't, I'd have about a dozen more workers to handle me growing list of headaches. We'll take the amateur's breeches. Some of these are pretty good pieces, but some of them look very silly. You can always, if you want to see what it individually looks like, this is a good one. You can right-click and try on something. Glad I am to see ye again, lad. A wagon driver just returned in a great bloody hurry, screaming about the monstrosity what sprang out of the millioncorn seedling in his gargo. Seems the gutless bastard tossed it over the side afore turning tail and running for his life. I need you to head over to the road, recover that seedling, and deliver it to Lilith at Swift Perch in western Lenosia. Whatever he pays you for the cargo is yours to keep. After all, I don't rightly know what else is lurking inside that plant. And you deserve to be rewarded for your troubles. Oh, and you'll also find an aetheryte in Swift Perch, so the journey should be worth your while. Yes! More crystals! Ha 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 ha. So, as you're running through, you can click on the adjoining area to kind of see what lies in that area. We know that they want us to go to western Lenosia, so we'll be taking that area afterwards. But it'll help you kind of get an idea of how all these places are attached. You'll get to the point of teleporting a lot of places, but just to find where they are for the first venture to 2 crystals is helpful. Alright. I forgot my carbuncle this entire time. Nobody told me! He does fighting for me. You ever see me fighting without my carbuncle? You could say something. With my carbuncle out, I can start Aether Charge, which we'll see this timer when that bar fills, it will let me thank you, Dunstan. I hadn't realized yet. Thank you for the heads up. That means I can switch out my ruby one. I do need a target to do that. So let me find something I can fight before it runs out. And now, that supercharges my other ability. So I can use my fiery carbuncle to do the work. Easy. Alright. Can't believe I forgot my carbuncle. He's just a little guy. It's really helpful when you're like over twice the level of your enemies to just smite them with the will of God. Little known fact. But this is why I say after this MSQ thing, I should get my class to level 10, and maybe we could pick something up in the city for the last hour stream. I could become a rogue. That is a fan favorite quest line. If you see a crystal, never walk past. Always attune. Crystal, speak to me. Has Nemea herself forsaken this desolate land? Though I understood there were risks in gambling my entire fortune on a crop of million corn, I at least expected the seedling to be delivered before the disaster struck. Is that my million corn seedling? Oh, joyous day! It may seem a paltry beginning, but the yield of this particular variety of crop plant is nothing short of astonishing. As you've undoubtedly noticed, Swift Perch lacks a certain, shall we say, vital energy. Thus I mean to restore a modicum of hope to its residents by growing a veritable ocean of corn. You, sir, seem fit to burst with vim and vigor. Might I persuade you to bide a while and help nurture this ailing settlement? Happily. You there, adventurer. Cast your eyes towards the brewer's beacon. Does the light not seem uncommonly weak? It cannot possibly be bright enough to guide the ship sailing in the bay. I would march over to the lighthouse and investigate myself, but I'm duty-bound to remain at my post. I would consider it a favor if you could make a visit to Brewer's Beacon and see if aught has befallen Conwis, the lighthouse keeper. Ain't no thing. Ooh, hunting log. Gone. Eliminated. I don't see any others, so, well, we'll fill it out next time we're in the area. We'll be coming back, I'm sure. Ah! They're attacking me. I do just run right through the thick of enemies, often. If you keep running, they probably can't kill you fast enough, right? Easy. You say Yellowjacket sent you here, eh? Me light's grown dim, has it? Well, course it bloody has. The bomb what fuels me furnace has up and buggered off, you see. If I don't get that beacon fixed up soon, there'll be trouble on the water. I know you're just a messenger, lad, but I can tell a venture when I see one. I'm going to need you to chase down that bomb and bring it back in a claw, bring back a claw what you ripped from its smoldering corpse. Take this here iron brazier and set her down in the middle of the flock. Somewhere near the scarecrow, I'd say. You get a nice fire going, and that frisky bomb will be out and about. Watch you don't singe your eyebrows, lad. Puppy! I want a wolf mount. That's so cute. And the lightning sprite is back. Easy. Alright, so we are going to use that key item and get this bomb. In Final Fantasy, bomb is a creature type. Wait, what? How are you attacking me? Alright. I guess we're gonna do this fate, just because otherwise I'm being attacked. Maybe they'll stop attacking me. They're busy attacking that other guy. Deleted. Since we started the fate, we might as well finish it. They don't seem to be taking very well to me killing their nests. I don't know why. There's another nest. This is a lot of dodos on a level 16 adventurer. I'm sure everything will go fine. Alright, I think 1 or 2 more nests and this fate will be done. That'll be a nice little amount of XP for us. There we go. Easy. 2,000 experience, we'll take it. Weird things happen to this world in the last calamity with all those crystals. You'll just see, like, huge structures like that tower in the distance that just... giant crystal growing straight through it. All you need to do is take down the runaway bomb and bring me back one of its little claws. Easy enough. Ah, you got the ashy bastard, did you? Once I put this little firecracker in the furnace, it should keep things running for a while. I had myself a bit of a look while he was gone, and Layman cursed me if the furnace weren't all bent and broken. Small wonder the bloody bomb was able to escape. I patched things up best I could, but I ain't no Smitty. You might want to have a chat with the Yellow Jacket friend of yours in Swiftperch, and have him pass the word back to someone in Limsa. While we're up here, we are going to make a detour for that Aleport Aetheryte. Having more Aetherites is always good. And then we can just teleport back to the, ooh, that's the last lightning sprite we need. We can just teleport back to, Swiftperch. Alright. Chocobo, chocobo, chocobo. Omji, hi! Hi! Ah, so cute! Oh, Crystal, over here. I need this cat. It's a minion. There's an event going on right now. Once we get to Ul'dah, we can take part in it, called for Yokai Watch, which is a Japanese children's show, kind of like Pokemon in design a little bit. Not really, but I guess a little, you know. But based on yokai. Ooh, we're gonna take that for 15 gil. It'll take 1 minute. If you have any questions, now's a great time. I can answer them pretty easily. Otherwise, just revel in the beauty that is Chocobo. Ah! So cute! Let's get that map out of here. Enjoy the nice, wildflowers and cliff face. Oceans and ships. And most importantly, Chocobo. If you ever wanted to get off in the middle of this, you just press Z. But I want to stay on Chocobo, so I will not be doing that. Easy. The furnace is damaged, is it? Very well, I shall write up to the relevant reports, but these repairs must be wow. I shall write up the relevant reports, but these repairs must needs be effected without delay. It seems I have another favor to ask of you, adventurer. Take yourself straight away to Armorer's Guild in Limsa and explain the situation to Forge Master, Nanza. Straight away, sir. Alright. Do we have that aetheryte nearby? We do. Yippee! Are there any aetherytes we're missing? No, we have them all. Good. The furnace in Brewer's Beacon needs repairs. Firegod's beard. I just sent someone out to tinker with it not a week past. Mayhap the bomb Kenwis has trapped in there was a touch too volatile? I'll have an artisan visit the lighthouse and pay special attention to reinforcing the casing of the furnace. Your work here's done, adventurer. May the navigator guide you on your journeys. That cap looks really good compared to what I'm wearing and, what I'm wearing. But that's because I'm not wearing a hat. So, I think the cloak will be good enough for now. We're just gonna take the gold. If they have multiple quests they can give you, when you right-click on them, it'll give you options. We're doing MSQ. What say you to taking on some work from Naldik and Vimelis? We've a great hulking warship to build, and could certainly use an extra hand for any number of tasks. For your first job, I need you to run this missive over to Atbrim, the head of the shipwright at Morby Dry Docks. We forge most of the ship's bits and pieces here at Armorer's Guild, but the actual construction takes place at the docks found in the south of Lower Eorzea. That's also where you'll find the main offices of Neldik and Vimelis. The Morby Dry Docks is one of Limsalumin's most important districts. At least as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure you'll not regret attuning yourself to the area's aetheryte. If you've no confidence in your sense of direction, you'd best be served making use of the chocobo porters. First floor of the mizzenmast, in case you were wondering. Should you choose to make the trek on your own 2 feet, leave the city through the Tempest Gate and follow the road south. May the navigator guide your steps. Alright, let us actually do our class quest. So we're gonna click on below MSQ. There will be a recommended, and 99% of the time it's going to be your next class or job quest. Like, one of the only things that takes precedence over it is getting a chocobo, which we're not to yet, so but do a do a class quest or two, and I think that'll be... Oop, I walked right past that, right. That'll be good for MSQ today. We didn't quite get to... Oh, I don't want to do... We didn't quite get to... far enough to doing some of the side content that we unlock soon, but that's okay. We could do some rogue class quests if people were interested. Yes, Jace, the time for your next lesson is upon us. You are keeping well, I trust. Taking the occasional brisk walk, one cannot form sound thoughts if one fails to maintain a sound body. Now, assuming you've been following Kalia's instructions, you should be ready to face the more dangerous threats found in western Eorzea. I speak of roselings and wild jackals, and yes, I would have you vanquish 3 of each. 'Tis the perfect sample size. The first acts as a preliminary test case, the second to test your hypothesis, and third to perfect the tactics you've devised. Speaking of which, I trust your strategy will consist of more than simply flinging rune over and over again. You are not the novice you once were, and your skills in the field ought to reflect that. If you find yourself wanting for other approaches, consider an assault with rune in tandem with attacks from your carbuncle. When timed appropriately, you can deal a crippling blow to your opponent. That would be using the Aether Charge to charge up my carbuncle, and then once I have my other color carbuncle ability, using Gem Shine. All right. Buy Swift Perch. Yeah, let's just teleport. That's what we go and get the Aetherites for. We're gonna kill these things before we even have time to use our carbuncle. Sheesh! Oh, okay, we got one. Red carbuncle is on the attack. And demolished. Yeah, so we're gonna teleport back because return's still on cooldown. That's okay. Filling out these quests will make us about the gil it costs to teleport, if not more. Welcome back, Jace. How did it feel to conquer such ferocious foes? Let us ride that wave of triumph onto an even more demanding and dangerous challenge. Your next training exercise will have you accompanying Forseer Kalia on one of her inspections. This experience will afford you the opportunity to witness firsthand the practical application of Akanima. Pray do not tarry, Jace. Kalia waits for you on the floor below with further details. A timely appearance, as I expected. Shall we proceed directly to the job at hand? I've been tasked with examining the wares of a goblin peddler caravan run by the Boylestocks family. Our agents suspect that the beastmen merchants of dealing in forbidden goods. As such, I've calculated that announcing an inspection has a 60% chance of inviting physical violence. I've prepared a strategy to respond to this possible shift in hostilities, but there is an important precondition that you should be made aware of before we discuss the finer points of my plan. Though I am considered gifted in the formation of tactics, I lack the reflexes and coordination necessary to employ many of those self-same strategies on the field of battle. Pray keep this factor in mind and adjust your perceptions accordingly. Now, should the goblins offer battle, you are to execute combat pattern 1345, otherwise known as stratagem focus fire. You and your carbuncle will concentrate your attacks on a single foe, and one by one, the enemy will wither under the combined onslaught. Probability of victory, 95%. Reports place the peddlers in the vicinity of the cookpot, in Middle Eorzea. I will depart immediately to assess the situation. Seek me out once you arrive. Hopefully we get another quick kill on our enemies. Kalia is so cute. She's a little silly. I don't think there's actual numbers behind her probability, but she's cute for trying. Wow. That weather condition, though, if you're ever wondering what it's classified as, you can check up here. Certain things like fishing will care what the actual weather condition is. So, fog versus raining versus clear days, etc. And then city-states like Limsa and some other areas around will have a I forget, the Skywatcher or something like that. They'll have someone who will predict the next day of weather patterns. Day in the in-world thing, I'm pretty sure. I am Forseer Kalia of Melvin's Gate. You are to cease all transactions and surrender your goods for inspection. Nasty sneaky speakers. Gabi's split uplander nosy yes on stabby iron. A predictably aggressive response. Very well, Jace. Remember what we discussed. Destroyed. Ah, more. Topaz Carbuncle. I want a Topaz Carbuncle. Where'd you go? Nicely done. Adaptation, improvisation. I might have been observing our beloved guildmaster. Himself in action. This was the perfect example of how the strategy for a given task should be tailored to the abilities of the assessor. In other words, before you begin formulating your tactics, it is necessary to fully understand your own strengths and weaknesses. On that note, there is another question I would ask you. When it comes to improving the probable success of a strategy, do you consider it more effective to concentrate on playing to your strengths or shoring up your weaknesses? I like to cover my weaknesses. Oh, again you respond as a guildmaster once did. I must revise the probability for your potential to attain greatness to 97%. You are one to keep an eye on, that much is for certain. But to return to the subject of battle plans, your calculations must include an accurate assessment of your available techniques and your relative effectiveness. This requires you to be critically aware of your own limits, the limits of your allies, and the characteristics of your enemies. I believe that covers everything for today. Please return to the guild and make your report to Mr. Thurbergrim. Until we meet again. I shall bide here until the Yellow Jackets arrive to take the peddlers onto custody. My strategies will keep me company. Back from the field, Jace. Kalia contacted me with the summary of events. Seems you're treated to a lecture on knowing thyself. That particular lesson is ordinarily taught only to intermediate practitioners. Without a sufficient store of combat experience from which to draw, it is difficult to fully appreciate the profundity of such a seemingly simple truth. Nevertheless, I feel confident that you will soon be ready for a more ambitious assignment. Keep to your studies, and maintain the razor edge of your mind. One last thing, Jace. Considering the dedication you have shown towards our discipline, I have decided to permit you to leave to explore the teachings offered by other guilds. I would suggest, however, that you first master the science of Arcanima. The strategic training you received here will serve you well no matter the path you eventually choose to walk. Return to me when your reason tells you the time is right. Ooh, lots of stuff. Let's take these gloves. Oh, I had this better grimoire, and I did not equip it. Oops. That's okay. All right. Let's see. I think that's a good place to call the main story quest in Arcanists. Perhaps we could become a rogue. Hearken to our days in the Infinite Consortium, as it were. I just have to remember where to pick up the quest. I believe it was in the main square. Not there. So you want to be a fisher? Not quite. So you want to be a rogue. How about that one? That might be the right one. Welcome, welcome. I see we have a few new visitors just in time to watch me start the rogues class quests. There's naught behind these covenant doors for a worldly type like you, Gov. We're the dutiful sisters of Edelweiss, all pure and saintly like. Now bugger off. Hang about. I thought you was just some simple errand lad, but now I've had a proper look at you. You're Jace, aren't you? Ha, I knew it. We like to snilch. Snilch. Is that a word? What is snilch? Hold on. Define snilch. It's an intransitive or transitive verb to eye or look or spy at anything attentively. Alright. Final Fantasy XIV is great for improving your vocabulary. Yeah, I knew it. We like to snilch all the rising talent. And from what I hear, you're head and shoulders above the rest. Thank you, I'm a level 17 Arcanist. Don't want to brag or anything, but if you can handle yourself half as well as they say, you might well be of use to us. Ah, forget that Sisters of the Edelweiss bollocks. That's just a bit of fun to fob off curious culls. We're a guild of rogues, mate, and it's mainly our marks as does the preying. Me and mine work in the shadows of Limsa, taking a keen edge to the rooks, and cacklers would have earned themselves a millin. We don't tout for members, but every now and again we might offer a promising young cove a place in the ranks. If you've an interest in joining us, tip your doddles and we'll put a hilt in each one, just like the gods intended. So what do you say? Fancy learning a new trade? Good to see you're keen, but I should probably warn you on a few points before you dive in. Where most guilds take pride in turning their members into the best bloody candlestick makers they can be, we only care about getting the job done. And the job ain't pretty. You become one of us and you'll soon be neck deep in scum and knife fights. So if you're looking to scamper across the rooftops and bilk dandies out of their blunt, you'd best take it up with a different crew. Think on that and come back if you're still keen. I didn't scare you off then, Ben. They told me you're a meddlesome cove, and so it's proved. You'll need every ounce of that metal soon enough. Now step inside and have a prattle with Jack. He's our upright man, the master of the guild. You're looking to head inside? Alright. There we are. I am the one they call Jack, though I'm surprised you heard of me. Perhaps you'd be good enough to tell me your name, along with what kindly cove has told you mine. Ah, the famous Jace. Old Lonnie Left Patch let you in, did he? He can't throw a blade for shite, but that one eye don't miss naught when it comes to sizing up a dimber colt for stalling. Just one thing. You ain't a pirate, are you? Well then, it's time you was stalled to the rogue. Put on your best beat cases and I'll swear you in myself when you're ready. Now I could fill your waddles with the storied history of our guild, but that's just wids and wind. The most important thing, the only thing, we care about is getting the job done. Now most folk, and I'm assuming you're among them, know that not long after Limsa's founding, the city was overrun by a motley collection of pirates and thieves. But as wild as that lot were, it soon became clear that they'd all end up killing each other if they didn't lay down a few rules. An unspoken code of conduct, as it were. 1. You don't bite the purses of your fellow Luminsons. 2. You don't rook a crew out of their spoils. And 3. You don't trade culls like what they were cattle. I'll admit the finer points of that code are a mite murky, but most agree on those 3 at least. Now, you might be thinking none of that amounts to a sack of dillberries now that the Admiral's outlawed piracy, but in back alleys and black markets where Murovib's grip ain't so tight, the code's still alive and well. And just as the law is enforced by the Yellow Jackets, the code is regulated by us rogues. We go where the shadows are darkest, and hand out justice to them as break the code. Some rum-soaked cove steals goods from the wrong cull, and we steal 'em back. That's the job, my natty lad. Course, we don't hop the twig when the blade work's called for, neither. You'll see the more is to our dagger play than just sticking culls with the pointy end. We'll weaken a mark with poison, fade away till strike and darkens, and whatever it takes to get the work done. Well, Jace, What do you say to that? Got the guts to do a rogue's job? Yes, I do. Alright then. First off, we'll have you get your kit sorted out. A rogue needs to be light in his dew-beaters and stay a Mark's trail. The job might not have you fighting at the deck or weaving through a mob, and the last thing you want is a bleeding great battle axe that hooks you itself on every rope and post. That's why we stick to daggers. They let you slip through the streets just as easily as slip through a rook's ribs. Here, take these stabbers and let's see how they look on you. Just don't get so excited with your new toys that you forget to dress for the role. You'd be surprised at how many cults come back to me in their bloody small clothes. In fact, when we equip them, we're likely going to be in our bloody small clothes. Alright, so to change classes in Final Fantasy, all you have to do is equip the weapon that you want to be. I'm going to recommend gear. And we're going to set a new gear list. I'm going to drag Rogue over here. So now, if we switch between our armories, you can do it up here, or if you put on your hotbar down there, we can be ready to fight in any role. Just gonna set my hotbar. Spinning edge is gonna be your default attack, so we'll put that nice and easy to reach. Managed to strap those daggers on without cutting yourself? Well, we're off to a good start, I'd say. Next, you'll want to get a feel for the weight and speed of your new weapons. I reckon those bleating cheats in the fields outside Limsa should serve for your first lesson. Aye, test your blades on a few of them lambs, then slice up some rats and pugils for good measure. Mind that you mill them beasties one at a time, though, lad. I know you've served far worse in the past, but you're no dimmer dammer without them stabbers just yet. Alright, those lambs, never knew it was coming. Lamb sounds so good. Oh, I am getting hungry. Should probably not make a habit of mentioning that every single time I, stream. But also, food good. Now, fun thing about a lot of these melee classes is you'll notice we can attack and walk at the same time, which is very helpful for avoiding damage if they, when we get bigger foes. We're a really good rogue. Leveling twice in a row. Hell yeah. Alright. See, we can get out of the way of their area of effect. Now, we unlocked the second thing, and if it says combo action, that means if you use the previous thing, you'll be able to use it to better effect. So when we use 9, we can use 0 better. That was enough levels to be ready to accept the next quest once we finish the first one, so good on us. I think we'll do one more quest after this one. Oh. Don't mind me just falling. Unless y'all are clamoring to see more rogues. It is popular for a reason, so if you want to see it, I'm happy to run it. longer. Wait, you can always, it takes a while to cast, so if you just change your mind, you can just move forward and it will stop your thing. I realized I have return up, so why waste the gil? Fisherman's Guild is the closest one to the Rogue's Guild. You're looking to head inside. Sure thing. Done with your milling, are you? You can never have enough blade practice to make young colt. In fact, I'll even add a list of marks to your hunting log. Pit yourself against the lot and you'll soon learn some new steps for your dance with the daggers. Ah, you must think yourself as a dancer, not a bleeding butcher. You only need so much force to ram a short blade into the hilt. Precision and speed. That's how you get the most out of your stabbers. Bulky armor only have you plodding about like an ungainly Auroch, so make sure you wearing gear what will let you move freely as well. Alright, get your blade work up to scratch, Jace, and I might just have a job for you. Hat. So true, Soren. Jace Beleren. Oh there, Jace. I must say, you're looking comfortable enough with those stabbers of yours. I reckon you're good and ready for your first assignment. Ordinarily, I'd stow me wids and let you get on with your work, but seeing as we only just dragged you into the shadows, might be a couple of things what you ain't yet familiar with. Let's build on what you likely do know. And that's the fact that Admiral, God bless her soul, has outlawed piracy in Limsa. So why do you think there's still so many sodden pirates in this town? I'll tell you why. It's 'cause there's still one way for him to loot and pillage without incurring the wrath of law. All you need to do is apply to serve the Thalassocracy as a certified privateer. A captain with a privateer's license is free to terrorize the seas till the Algoats come home, so long as he only targets vessels what belong to the Garlean Empire. Of course, considering how bloody vast the Empire is, that plenty of looting to go around. Crews fill their holds with Imperial plunder, sail back here to Limsa to offload the spoils, and that's where this particular case went sour. See, this one crew got their fambles on a Magitech device, a firing mechanism to be precise, but was rooked out of their hull by some heavy-handed coves. If you'll recall, that don't sit well with the code. If you're bold enough to brook a pirate out of his due, then you best be prepared for a visit from the rogues. Ah, speaking of visiting rogues, Underfoot, over here, lad. I want the pair of you working together on this. Pass sentence on them code-defying rooks and bite back the Magitech part. What's the Colt need me for? You're in charge of new recruits, ain't you? It's Jace's first assignment. You're here to go along and give him the benefit of your wisdom. Since when was I in charge of new... Ah, bugger it. So I guess we're to be partners for now. The name's Harumu, but most of me fellows call me Underfoot. He might seem a touch reluctant, but Harumu is one of our best. You just do as he says and you'll get the job done. Jace Beleren. Just you wait. There's a really cool healing class that uses laser beams. We're far away off from that one. That'd be fun for Jace. Alright then, me young rogue. Seeing as this is your first official outing, I want you to be sure your dance steps are up to the task. With them short blades, you need to get good and close on your mark, aye? but we ain't bleating squads in shining armor, and the lighter kit we wear ain't much protection from a click of the gun. So if you don't fancy spitting blood and teeth, your best defense is simply not being where your mark winds up to last a nasty clout. Sliding round to flank usually does the trick, but there's some run fun every rogue should master: the shade shift. Clear your mind and trust in your speed, and you can leave an axe-wielding brute or a spell-swinging mage chasing your shadow while you blurry your stabbers in his guts. Right now, it's time to put this lesson into practice against some of those Eorzea out in the lower Eorzea. I hope you was paying attention, lad, because those tentacles can pack a wallop. Enjoy! Alright. Let us go kill an Eorzea. Or 2. Or 3. Lower Eorzea, that's where we want to go. There they are. Oh, they're just little babies. They're only level 4. If I use shapeshift as a mitigation thing, it will reduce the damage. It's a very long cooldown, but that's not uncommon for the mitigation type abilities and such. Tanks have a lot of these kinds of cooldowns. Alright. Ah! That's not what I wanted to click on. I did it again. I want to click on the Aetherite. There we go. So what do you say? Should I do 1 or 2 more rogue quests? Stream's at a pretty good spot. I could go either way. Run some more, call it here. We're in a good spot to pick up MSQ next week. Done with your practice then. The sting of them tentacled buggers will soon teach you to stay on your toes, eh? Ahem. Now we've got you bloody Russian, I'd say it's time to get down to work. First things first, we're gonna have to track down them addled coves what rooked that Magitech gadget. Might be as one of our rogues has heard something. The guild thrives on information, you see, and we've agents scattered far and wide with their glazes keen and their waddles to the ground. Let us pay a visit to the Lotwin at Drowning Wench. Ask her for a weak ale and see what it gets you. I'm not setting you up for a laugh, lad, trust me. Yeah, 1 more. That sounds good. Wait. I got turned around. No, I didn't. I got returned around. Forward call is where I want to go. Welcome to the Drowning Wench. What's your pleasure, sir? Never in all my days. We may serve some cheap grog in the Wench, but not that was watered down. If our usual ale is too bold for your taste, mayhaps you'd like to order from the underground menu? Aye, there's quite a lot on offer for a customer with your roguish charms. Was there something in particular I could help you with? Ah, the trouble over the Magitech loot. 'Twas not a subtle job. The gang in question is an unusual group of former pirates calling themselves the Dainty Demolishers. They seem to be enamored of court dandy mannerisms and have a preference for seizing Garlean machinery. They are also known for conspiring with goblins. Rumors say that the Demolishers visit a beastman camp in the middle of Eorzea to fence their goods. And those goods generally take the form of Imperial technology. I imagine the goblins were rather pleased to take possessions of Mark 43rd. I have not read Roman numerals quickly for a while now. Embarrassing. Mark 43rd anti-aircraft cannon firing mechanism. If you mean to steal the device back, then your trail leads to the goblin camp in Summerford. Summerford, eh? On your way, lad. Meet me across the river from the camp and we'll plan our next move. Hold on, I'm gonna see. Does he have a quest? Nah. Alright. Again, we are better off just using the main aetheryte to go to the boundary marker instead of teleporting out. I went to the airship. That's not the same at all. Forward call, please. Come on. Hey, alright. Listen to me. Alright. Wait. Summerford is... middle. Alright. There we go. Take the bridge over. He said. Oh, I thought you said take the bridge over. It's right over there. Ah. All right. Well, we'll take these goblin fishers for our hunting dog. There we are. All right. Get your noggin down, Jace. I've been snilching the actions across the way there. No sign of the demolishers, but I did see one of them gambler coves stuffing the Garlean gadget into his backpack. I knew Lotwin would steer us right. This is your chance, lad. Clout that gambler gobby and grabble that device. I've lost track of which gob it was, but I'm thinking it was the thought on the left. Just make sure you dance away from any bomb blast. Twisting and dodging in the middle of a fireball might not save you from getting your eyebrows singed off. I think I will lose a bit more than my eyebrows if I get hit by a bomb. But maybe not. Maybe I'm just built different. Oh, I only had to kill one, I guess. Oh. 2 it is. So we just unlocked the ability Second Wind. That's a pretty common physical attacker ability. I think it's just the role for all melee physical attackers. It's just a little heal that you can use in the middle of combat should you be low on health and your healer is otherwise focused on someone else. That's the way, lad. There was naught for me to do but sit on me doddles and watch. So you've got the goods then. Aye, this is the device, no mistaken. Let's get this back to the guild, eh? We still owe them the demolisher bastards a million, but they'll keep for now. Here, you should be the one to deliver the prize to Jack. It was your hand what snatched it out of the goblin's paws, after all. Captain, I say! Some fiend has perpetrated violence upon our goblin colleagues whilst we were sought but to wet our throats with fine libations. This will not stand, Captain. Our finely filched loot has been pilfered from under our noses. Blast and bother! My blood boils and bubbles at the temerity of this affront. I know not the identity of these audacious buffoons, but they shall be made to pay and pay dearly. With me, my fine fellows. Huzzah! That's fun dialogue. It's good to be a little dramatic sometimes. A little all the times in my case. Right, I can return. Fisherman's Guild. Fishing will come soon. We'll definitely take out fishing soon. It's better to be a little further in MSQ just so you have more places available to you. Because fishing obviously is better to have different locations if you want different fish. You managed to grab that firing mechanism yet, Jace? Ah, still one piece too. You've done well for your first assignment, lad. It don't look like much, but that crew put their lives on the line to cloy this here bauble. Oh, I missed up with that dialogue. My bad, Jack. If you ever need to go over a cutscene again, you can do that in the inn, which you unlocked earlier today. Or re-unlocked. We've yet to do this dainty demolishers. We've yet to do it for the dainty demolishers, Jack. That job ain't over. You're right, Underfoot. It ain't. You break the code, you face the consequences. Oh-ho! This is not what I expected from inside the Covenant. And who might you be, sirs? Your ignorance is understandable. After all, our schemes are always perfect. Our heists impeccable. Shall I reveal our infamous name and drink in your delicious terror? We are deadly, dastardly, and addictionally devilish. Quail before the dainty demolishers. Captain, I say. There's the cad who misappropriated our merchandise. I concur. He is the self-same simpleton whom we trailed unnoticed at this very establishment. Surprise, surprise. Now, my dear dandies, let us not be unpleasant. We should endeavor to resolve this distastefulness without resorting to insults or other less diplomatic methods. At least not yet. You there, yes, the clean-cheeked errand boy. Be a good fellow and fetch me your superior. One of your colleagues has committed a terrible crime against us, and we shall not be leaving until the proper restitution has been paid. Oh-ho! An errand boy now, am I? I love how they're having such fun with this. Tell me, Captain, just what kind of place do you think this is, then? This place? Why, I suppose it's some manner of covenant. The one-eyed doorman named it the dutiful sisters of Edelweiss or some such. And you've yet to realize your mistake. Your fate is sealed in the moment you dragged your sorry Quarren across the threshold. Are you threatening me, boy? I'll have my fellows cut that impudent tongue. We've exhausted our reserves of dainty today, lads. Show these fraudulent sisters how the demolishers deal with upstarts. You still don't understand, do you? There are but three sorts of culls what the doorman will let pass. Clients, recruits. God spit! I'll kill you all! Didn't your mum teach you that to interrupt a lady when she's talking? You'd have learned that third sort of cull is a bullocks for brains mark what marches himself right into the rogue's den. Rogues? But we were so careful. I'd heard tales in my pirate days, stories about the merciless wraiths who uphold the code. They weren't called rogues back then, though. The upright thieves they were. The knives in the shadows. You can't be them. You're just trying to scare me. Well, the captain of the dainty demolishers is not so easily cowed. To the hells with your deceptions. Huzzah! Huzzah for my fallen comrades! Deceptions? Aye. Anyone you meet could be a rogue, Captain. Even a clean-cheeked errand boy. He's still breathing. Find some rope and string him up someplace in town. And now the job's done. Quite an introduction you had there, eh? Welcome to Limsulamince's ever-churning underbelly, where the thieves shed their skins and become rogues. I'm not much for discussing the old days, but since it's come up I might as well clear up the confusion. It was back when piracy was at its peak. The codes what protected the code were dimmer dammers, best lads and lasses to be had, among them pirate crews. They bit back the goods, what was wrongly bitten, and came for the guilty under cover of Darkmans. Upright thief became the title for those coves what dealt in sanctioned stealin' and millin'. But it was only those as had cut all ties with the Buccaneer's life what was accepted into the ranks, conflicting loyalties and all that. They formed their own guild and even their own way of speaking. What was once pirates was pirates no more. Later on, when Merlvib took the Admiral's chair, the Upright Thieves agreed to abide her by her laws. It became the Rogues Guild, to mark the change and altered our recruiting policy to accept venturers like yourself. But although the title's different, the job remains the same. Uphold the code, and preserve the underground society what spawned us. Just as you've done with this assignment. Keep up the good work, Jace, and you'll go far in the shadows. Alright. I think that's a pretty good spot. I think we, we'll don our new apparel. And upgrade our gear. And we will sign off as Jace Beleren. Jace Beleren, upstart, rogue. Alright, thank you everyone for joining. Make sure to check in with my stream tomorrow if you want to watch my art stream. We're going to be drawing Alt Girl Thalia. I hear the Thalia girlies, like some light alt girl fashion for our girl Thalia. So check it out. Feel free to draw along for Legendary Drip, and I will catch you next week as well to do main story quest on Jace. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.